Where'd you even get this? Looks like a Cold War movie prop. The guard at Delta 3 checkpoint turned the card over twice. Edges curled, plastic blistered from heat. Whatever seal it once had was gone, just a faded oval burned into laminate. The woman didn't flinch, didn't adjust her coat, didn't speak. She stood in the wind like part of the earth boots caked in dry-marked dust. Coat zipped to the collar, no rank, no unit. Just a single line stitched faint above her left pocket E. Bray. A second guard leaned closer. "Ma'am, this is a Tier 1 gate. You need valid clearance biometric, verified." She stayed silent. Someone chuckled behind the glass. Maybe she's old intel, or someone's lost aunt. The card slid into the reader, mostly as a joke. The screen blinked once, twice, then turned red. Biometric match confirmed, access level 0, override status reactivated. Silence hit like a slab of concrete. The laughter died mid-breath. Level 0 didn't mean clearance, it meant authority. Obsolete, erased from protocol, the kind reserved for things they never wanted back. The shift sergeant stepped forward. "Ma'am, I didn't know." She finally spoke. "I'm not here to be known." She moved past him, not fast, just final. "Storage bay 14, she said. "I need it unsealed." The system obeyed without prompt. Locks disengaged. Lights shifted from red to green. No one gave the command. And as she crossed the threshold, no one laughed again. Not that day. Not since. Storage 14 had no digital record. Just a manual lock plate. No light, no sound, no history. Call. Rexton Vale followed her in. He didn't speak until the second door sealed. "I was told this wing was decommissioned." "It was," she replied. She moved through the room like memory. Not scanning, not searching, just returning. "These servers," she said, eyes passing the rusted consoles. "They weren't dangerous because of what they held. They were dangerous because of what they refused to." Vale frowned. "Meaning our distress signal, the call for extraction. It hit these nodes, then vanished. Not rerouted, not jammed, just gone." A pause. "I'm not here to recover anything." Her voice was low. "I'm here to make sure no one ever disappears like that again." She reached behind the rack, pulled out a charred node no bigger than her palm. It bore a single burn mark, faint initials scratched along its edge. Vale recognized them, the initials of a soldier presumed dead. For a moment, she stopped. Her eyes didn't see the metal racks, they saw something else. Dust. Heat. A man screaming into a dead radio, her voice shouting wait and silence. Answering back. "We lost 12 men in 86 seconds, she said finally. "No gunfire, no detonation, just blackout." The signal didn't fail. The system erased it, deliberately. She walked to the relay core, took out a punch tool, and began unscrewing the central panel. "I'm here to erase that equation." Vale stepped forward. "Pale Hawk 7 wasn't a call sign I ever saw cleared. Wasn't meant to be." A pause. "And you weren't sent back here either." "I wasn't." The door behind them opened. Not by sensor, not by code, by manual key. Brigadier General Gratham Rowan stepped in. Older, measured. His eyes locked on her immediately. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again." She didn't move, didn't salute, just met his eyes. I didn't think anyone wanted to. Rowan looked at the old gear, at the dust, then at her. I still remember the voice on comms. "Hollow Vale, Grid 9. He swallowed. It wasn't just a call sign. You turned the tide. A beat. Eliora unzipped her coat, revealed the tag around her neck, burnished, scratched, but still readable PH7. Rowan exhaled like something long held had finally let go. "I never forgot that name," he said. And in the silence that followed, Eliora finally stepped forward. Not to report, not to salute, but to hand him a folded list. 12 names, the ones who had survived because of her. Carve them on the wall, she said, and nothing else. Inside Storage 14, the lights buzzed faint and stale. Dust shimmered in the air. Metal breathed memories. Palehawk 7 walked past the old racks, her steps deliberate. Her fingers brushed along a crate marked in faded stencils, HVE-17, Sector 3. She paused. The room dimmed, and somewhere in her mind, the steel began to hum. It had started with a detonation. Not one, a chain. 15 timed IEDs across 3 corridors meant to collapse, not kill. They were hurting them. She remembered the tunnels of Hollow Vale mining shafts repurposed into a forward launch base. A maze of rock, rebar, and lies. 3 special teams inside. No SATCOM, no uplink, just echoes. She had less than 5 minutes to link the units, and no radio. In the shaft below Sector 3, she'd founded an old comms pipe from the first excavation team. Cold steel, hollow, still intact. She tapped a sequence. 3 beats, pause, 1, pause, 2. Old ghost code. Across the cavern. Another knock replied. "Bravo team, still alive." She rerouted them through the runoff tunnel, then searched for Charlie. Only silence. The heat was rising. Smoke from flare traps crawled along the ceiling. Gas sensors were failing. Then came the voice Private Harrow, bleeding from the gut. Couldn't walk. Eliora dropped her rifle, hoisted him up, and started toward the rope bridge. Wood creaked with every step. The weight of the war behind her. The team behind urged her to drop him. She didn't respond. Halfway across, gunfire from above. A sniper found their line. She covered him with her body and kept walking. They made it, but the exit was wired. Only 1 det trigger manual. She handed Harrow to Sergeant Malco, then turned back. Malco shook his head. "Don't." Her answer, "I know where the blast radius ends." She stayed behind. They ran. She kneeled beside the charge, closed her eyes, and whispered the code again. 1 knock, 2, 3. The pipe answered back. Back in the present, Cull. Vale stared at the screen. She had restored an old black box, one that captured only 6 seconds of video. A red glow. Eliora's silhouette on the edge, her hand raised, then white out. "The file cut there," Vale whispered. "No one ever saw that clip." She said nothing. "Then I did." He exhaled slow. "She died there." "No," she said. She made sure the rest didn't, and that was all she ever needed. The sun was setting over Drymark Hollow, but in her mind, the light was white, and it was never warm. She stood just outside Bay 14, eyes distant, frost-bitten echoes pressing in from years ago. The operation they erased, the valley they left behind. Hollow Vale wasn't snow. It was smoke, white phosphor, ash, a ridgeline burning like the sky had teeth. They had dropped in low, under blackout. 12 units, triple crossfire. It wasn't supposed to be a war zone, but it was. Palehawk 7 had led the advance line. Harrow was behind her, wounded, bleeding from the hip, static screaming in their comms. The evac chopper was 8 minutes out. They had 12. The ridge collapsed when the second blast hit. A landslide of scrap, dirt, and half-melted drones. Eliora had clawed through it, fingers raw, only to find Harrow pinned under the comms pack. He looked at her eyes, calm. Voice flat. "Forget me," he said. "Get them out." Behind her, one of the rookies was yelling, "Leave him, we're too exposed," but she didn't. Not then, not ever. She stayed, shouldered Harrow's pack, lifted him herself, and ran into the smoke like it was home. Only 6 of them reached the evac zone, but the comms made it, so the rest, the 67 they never counted, survived. Back in present time, the base cafeteria was near empty. Harrison was there, and 2 others. He stood slowly when she entered. "You carried him," he said. His voice wasn't shaking, but something beneath it was. "Harrow told us you refused orders. He said you made a call no one else would." Eliora didn't speak yet. She waited. Then Harrison added quietly, "I thought that was a lie. We never found your name on any list." Her gaze locked. "You weren't supposed to." She stepped forward and placed something on the table, a torn name strip, burned at the edges, still legible in parts. Harrow below it, a field report, not logged, not signed, just a single handwritten line. "He told me to leave him. I didn't." Silence fell like dust, heavy, still. No words made sense afterward, only truth, and the kind of memory that doesn't leave. Then, she turned to leave, but paused, one hand resting on the frame of the door. "Storage Bay 14 is clean," she said. "No one needs to go down there again." And then, just before she disappeared from view, "We carry ghosts, but that doesn't mean we bury the living." They never filed a commendation. There was no ceremony, no colors lowered, no announcement in the mess hall. But the next morning, Unit Memorial Hall was open early. Inside, past the rows of brass plates and dulled campaign flags, a new panel had been installed, polished steel, unlabeled, except for one word etched at the top: Operation Hollow Veil. 12 names were carved in sequence. 12 people who had been listed unaccounted. 12 whose tags were never returned. A 13th space sat empty for a moment, just a bare patch of steel, until she walked in. No escort, no uniform, just a canvas roll in her hand. She knelt, unfurled it, inside a faded strip of cloth. Not hers. It had once belonged to Harrow, still stained, still real. She placed it gently below the names, then drew out a small rivet punch. Steady hands, no ceremony, no sound, but steel biting steel. B. Harrow 67th. Signal, Echo Vex Phil. Confirmed. Someone in the hall had been watching. A maintenance corporal, barely 20. He didn't speak, just stood there like the weight of it kept him in place. She stood, turned to leave. "Ma'am," he asked, "should I log this?" Eliora paused. Her voice was quiet, like frost on wind, only if they try to erase it again. That night, the panel stayed lit longer than usual. No one turned off the light, no one scheduled it. Some said they saw her silhouette one last time, past the gates, coat high, hands behind her back, walking into the ridgeline mist, no files updated, no rank restored, but no one ever questioned the name again. In the registry logbook for Memorial Hall, handwritten at the bottom of the page, there was no medal, no witness statement, no archived footage, but every system remembers her clearance, and every survivor remembers her name.